Everybody in my life, all these wonderful people that I have aligned myself with, they are saying it and I am resisting hearing it. Right. I'm not, and like that taking ownership or the permission to let myself have that. I'm not doing it. Right. I'm not worthy still. And I'm doing it to me. It's not the people, it's not the situation. Like the people are showing up. The words are amazing. It's the permission for me to have it.
Welcome to the Gutsy Podcast, the show where you learn how to own what you actually want and shift the mind junk that's been holding you back. I'm Laura Ora, keynote speaker, coach, and your guide to help you get clarity, build confidence, and make the gutsy moves that change your life. Each week, I'm going to help you simplify things by teaching you how to get out of your head while stepping into action. This way you can achieve all those life shifts that you've been overthinking. Your desire, that drives you. But gutsy, that's what gets it done. Hey, you. Welcome back to the Gutsy Podcast. You're in for a treat. This is a new episode style. So once a month, you're going to get to listen into a real coaching conversation between myself and a client, where we have really raw conversations about a challenge, an aspiration, something that's going on in their life or in their business. And you'll get to hear how we get clarity, we get to the root, and how we find a solution so that they know how to move forward. Today, you're going to hear from Chelsa. She is a mother of 5. That's right, 5. And she's also running not 1, not 2, but 3 successful businesses. And the challenge here is she's kind of struggling to own her accomplishments, really step into that power role. And you'll hear how she battles with defining what a successful businesswoman should look like. Hint, here is where we discover something really powerful. Chelsa is going to share the mental back and forth that causes her to delay making decisions and creates a storm of self-doubt that's stopping her from living her fullest potential. And what you'll hear from her is that she's ready for a change. You're going to hear how we discover what she's truly resisting, and you'll hear the simplified plan that allows her to move forward with the clarity and the confidence that she's looking for. Grab your notebook and your tissues, and let's get into it. Chelsa, my friend, you always lean into these new ideas that I have. You've been around the Gutsy Collective for quite some time. You were the very first member in there. You took the mindfuckery workshop with me. You've been in my world for quite some time, and I just super appreciate you leaning into this with me.
Same. I feel the exact same way. I'm so glad that I've been able to connect with you and go on this journey. Like you are directly due for credit for so many of my personal gains. Like the clarity that I got from the mindfuckery workshop that led to like the gut check decision to just jump in and join. I'm where I'm at because of connections you helped me make. So I appreciate that so much.
Oh, it's so my honor, and we're gonna get into some greatness today, as we always do. But it's beautiful to watch you grow, right? Since day one of meeting you and watching the shifts that you've made is just, it's literally why I do what I do. So thank you for inviting me to be part of your world.
Thank you. I'm so glad I found you and your content. Yes, just resonates on a personal level and helps me get out of my bullshit. So that's exactly what I need.
Well, let's do a little bit more of that today. So let's get into it. We're gonna do a live coaching session here together and see where we go with this. So let's first just connect with our space. I think it's really important to just kind of enter into this unified space together. So just close your eyes and take a nice big deep breath with me. Just open yourself up to saying what needs to come up and out and receiving whatever needs to come in and land. One more big deep breath. You feel very open today, my dear. Your energy is very open and very fluid. A little bit of butterflies in there too, which I always welcome, and that's cool. So tell me a little bit about what's going on. What made you want to book this session to get some information or some clarity?
Well, I am the queen of double down, and I didn't just double down this year, I tripled down. So I went from launching one business last year, right? And it didn't get the results I wanted. So two is better than one, and three would be phenomenal. So I did three, and now I'm trying to keep up with all three and delegate at a efficient level. And so yeah, clarity is always so helpful. And you find ways to challenge my resistance in areas that propels me forward in a much quicker fashion. And I am now into like, this is my bread and butter season. I need to be dialed in and focused and letting go of things that aren't part of that. So, step one of getting in that spot is being in this session.
Perfect. So remind me what type of businesses, plural. What are you selling, creating, marketing?
Right. So, my original business, what I first started with was just drop shipping, and I'm drop shipping the same products that I was last year. And then that kind of morphed, and I have branched out into branding, and I'm launching two new products for Q4.
Perfect. Excellent. So these are business to consumer. So embarking on the holiday season, which is why you said this is prime season. Got it. So what's happening in these three businesses, or what's happening in with you that you need some guidance with? You talked about you mentioned the word clarity. You shared the word clarity with me prior to our session as well. What do you feel unclear about?
Why I am not taking the position in my businesses that I should be, right? So I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of imposter syndrome. Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? How did I get to the point where does this make sense? Like owning the choices that I've made to get where I'm at and then giving myself the permission to claim those roles, right? I'm not doing that. For whatever reason, it doesn't feel like it's real still, right? Like however I'm defining my success, I don't feel that I have that type of success. I'm hearing it from the coaches, mentors, and the third business I have a partnership with. And the partner in there is very happy and it's going well, but I'm not taking any of that and bringing it to myself.
Okay. In what way?
Ownership, right? Like giving myself the permission to claim what I've done, right? Like so far it's like I haven't hit that thing that's like, oh yeah, I'm actually doing it. Like it's real. Like, am I making sense?
Yeah, you're good. I'm with you.
And I'm not sure what that is about because like I am the one that's doing it. It is me moving the needle forward. I show up consistently. It's my ideas, it's my marketing, it's happening, but for whatever reason, getting out of behind like the computer screen and showing up in like an ownership aspect for the business, I'm struggling to do that. I'm struggling to connect it to myself that I did this, right? I'm making it happen and I have a right to claim that ownership, right? I'm not exactly sure what is happening and why I'm not. But it's taking me forever to make decisions. Like hiring that ad agency, I should have done it months before, but I didn't. And then same with the email marketing. I should have done it. I should have done it after last Q4 when I was just so swamped. I should have done it then. And I just keep forcing myself through the slog. You're not there yet. You shouldn't be hiring people, right? Except that that's what's changed everything, right? Like this whole openness, this whole you feel alive, like I'm not forcing myself to do things I shouldn't be doing anymore because, I don't have that asset, right? That knowledge base. So hiring those people that can handle it at the executive level that they can handle it at, and then free me up for the stuff that I really do enjoy, the things that make me feel good, that's changed my life. But like giving myself the permission to do that and to take like ownership of who I am, what I've done, and what this is for like my businesses, I'm not doing that. I'm still Chelsa in a Harry Potter shirt sitting on her couch in her slippers man in her home with her kids. That's what I'm doing. I'm not at the mindset, right? Like you have three businesses. You're an amazing damn woman. Like that mindset, I push it to the other side. It's uncomfortable.
Okay. Okay. So, couple of thoughts. This is good. I love all this information because you know how I work. It all starts to piece together. So my first question is, what shifted for you when you made the decision to go from doing all the things yourself to hiring, per se, the ad agency or the marketing team that you've brought in to help you? What shifted in you in that moment to make that change? Because that's ownership in its own.
So honestly, what it was is it was my depression that like flagged. I had gotten to a certain point, like I keep notes on my phones and on my phone, and especially things from sessions or podcasts and stuff. And I read through that every morning, and I there was just this one that flagged, and it was like a wake up, wake up, wake up. You're slogging yourself again. You're burying yourself alive. Like you got to wake up. And then that's what finally propelled it. It's like you have to let it go. You have to let go. It's time to let go. So, I was feeling so down, right? Because like I'm putting the ads together and I'm doing all this, but it's not my thing, and I don't have the right kind of knowledge. I have to look up everything. I have to watch tutorials for everything. It's taking so much time. And as soon as like I start minimizing how much time I get with my family and with my kids, I'm angry, right? And not just kind of angry, bitterly, resentfully angry. I hate the businesses. I hate everything. I'm just done. And like, it was just that, it was just reading a note about like your anger is, it's your body's natural way of like making you aware, right? Because you love yourself. So anger is an awareness that you're moving away from loving yourself. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. And I was like, I'm so damn angry because I'm stuck doing this. And that it's because you're not loving yourself. You're not supposed to be doing this. So don't do that. And then, it was just a mental fuckery of like allocating the finances and saying, okay, I can do this, right? So I did that and then hired somebody, and like I'm not kidding. Like just the action of sending those files over to Chloe, immediate relief. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're like you go into the zone of like, um, why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah, it was like months ago. Should have been months ago. And then it was just like a domino effect. It was like, I'm done with the email. Done. Find somebody yesterday.
Well, I think an important part of this to remember is you've got proof now, right? I think sometimes when you're making those first big changes or you're making those gutsy moves, right? Or you're making your first hire or whatever it is it's happening, you don't always have something to compare it to, and you're not always sure if it's going to work out, right? And it doesn't always work out, right? Sometimes it takes us down a windy path, and we learn a lesson or two or gather some information and we come back to the path. But in this particular case, you've done it now, right? And it's worked. And you know now what it feels like to have relief, to have your time back, to be able to trust people, right? That comes into a big play when we're talking about hiring people into business. So you've got proof now that releasing is growth. And so, what I'm curious now is, what are you resisting about releasing right now to take ownership?
Oh, I'm gonna have to think about it. The first thing that comes to mind is myself, though. I think I'm just resisting myself, who I view myself as, the way I see me. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, 1,000%. So what I pick up on energetically is this kind of underlying thread of what a successful businesswoman should look like. So I've heard you mention the word should probably a dozen or so times. No shame, just an observation, right? And the one honestly that stood out really strong to me when you said, "Here's Chelsa at home on the couch in her t-shirt with her hair up, taking care of her kids." You're combating yourself through who you are as a person and your multiple roles and responsibilities in this life.
That's 100% it. Yeah.
Is that resonating with you?
Yeah.
So to be a quote unquote successful businesswoman with three thriving businesses, you in your body, in your mind, you should look a different way. You should act a different way. You should show up a different way than what you are maybe right now in this moment. Is that ringing true for you?
Like my entire life, apply it to every scenario. It's just the fact that it's this now. So yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So that's why you get so far and then you unintentionally put up this invisible barrier because you're not what you think that you should be in the moment. The problem with that is you're always dancing with it.
Literally.
So tell me if I'm wrong, but at home, you're dancing with, you're not the businesswoman. At business, you're dancing with, I'm not at home with the kids, right? Like you're always contradicting yourself with who you are and what space you're in.
Yeah. How do you get to this? But yes, I don't even, yes. Yeah. And like forever, like on a deep personal level, like seriously. And like that invisible barrier, it's not even invisible to me. And it's comforting. I put it up and I seal away.
It's familiar discomfort. You know how to handle it. You know how to dodge it. You know how to pivot it. You know how to speak to it. It's familiar. So why wouldn't you, right? I mean, your subconscious mind is playing in here. This is what you've known forever. So it's like a record playing in the back of your head. You know how to handle this. You know what song to put on and when to dance with it.
Yeah. Except it's really limiting and I'm not handling it well anymore. So
Yeah. Do you know why?
why?
Because you're ready to fucking let it go.
Ah, there's another thing. How do you do that? How the fuck do you let go?
Yeah. How do you do that? Well, how did you let go of ads and emails and all kinds of shit? You got fed up with something, right? You got to a moment where you decided. That's the only thing that changed. You decided with your entire being. And when you decided, you stepped into a piece of alignment. And that's why things have gotten easier. That's why you've gotten capacity back. That's why you have more time to do the things that you actually enjoy instead of doing every tiny fucking piece that comes with running a business,
Oh, yes.
right? So you're at another crossroads. And that's why, listen, the closer that you get to that crossroad, the more uncomfortable it's going to get.
Okay, thank you for telling me that.
Yes. The bigger it feels in you, the louder it is in your head, the more that it's consuming you. It's because it's time to decide.
Okay.
So the how, there you go. Nice big deep breath. The how is, what do you want to decide today? How do you want to reframe what Chelsa looks like? And I'm not talking like your physical appearance. I'm just talking about like your perception of success. Let's redefine what successful Chelsa looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what does she look like?
I don't even know. Mm. Okay. So, successful for me, I've actually been thinking about this. Successful for me looks like having time with my kids and not trading my time for money, right? So, the whole point of building brands and everything is to get to the point where it might have an exit potential, or it's something that runs kind of on an auto loop, right? So, it has its trending markets and sales, and you just manage it and it does its thing. So, the goal is to get to that point. And of course, because I have five, I need something substantial because I don't want to like give up on things that we love and enjoy. I want to be able to do things with my kids, like for real, do things. And so successful me looks like a couple of businesses that can kind of do autopilot or I'm busy during, certain parts of the year when I want to be, when I enjoy that. And I'm able to provide the life that I want for myself and my kids. And I know this is attainable. I've aligned myself with peers that are doing this, and I'm making sure that I put myself in the same rooms even when I'm uncomfortable. And that is what success looks like. However, success for me would be looking at myself, the way that I perceive me, and being okay with having let go of some of the things I've let go of in pursuit of this other thing. And coming to terms with like who I am and what has went on the last few years. Owning myself would help a shit ton. I'm definitely on the path. It's amazing what, you say clarity and like the clarity comes down to, well, I think you're resisting you. Yeah. Yeah. In a massive way.
Yeah. I know you've heard me say it once before, or maybe a few times, but I'll say it again. The thing that you want the most is often behind the thing that you resist the most.
Yep.
And in this case, it's being you.
It's just being me. Yeah.
It's being you. And I know that there's been a lot of situations and people and moments in your life that have taken that from you, that have steered you away from that. So I don't want to discount that by any means. And two things can be true. That shit did happen, and you get to be you again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Correct. Yes, it is happening. I'm slowly but surely making way better decisions for my boundaries and for my family and for me. And it's happening. I think I'm just, well, not think, I am, right? We know this. I'm crazy impatient. Like it's on the tracks. Like we can clearly see she's doing the shit. It's happening. But I'm 3 steps ahead. Like, right? So just one of those other things you say. Have you possibly considered that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now?
I mean, I'm just saying. Well, yeah, and that's a really important thing that you bring up though, right? Is when is the last time that you sat for a moment or 3 moments and just acknowledged the shifts that you've made in the last 12 months?
I haven't. No, and like, see, I have a couple of really good friends now that they're like building me up, like you're amazing and it's been really wonderful. And they say things like you should be really proud and like trying to like reframe. Even my coach yesterday, right? He's like, he literally told me, he said, I want you to write down these big things that you've done just this year and compare it to where you were last year and take a moment. Everybody in my life, all these wonderful people that I have aligned myself with, they are saying it and I am resisting hearing it, right? I'm not, and like that taking ownership or the permission to let myself have that. I'm not doing it, right? I'm not worthy still, and I'm doing it to me. It's not the people, it's not the situation. Like the people are showing up, the words are amazing. It's the permission for me to have it.
Yeah. What do you need to be able to give yourself permission?
I don't know. Why do I do that?
You've been trained to take the second seat. You have always rode shotgun. And this phase of your life is asking you to not only get in the driver's seat, but to strap on a really great outfit and clean up your fucking car and ride into the sunset or put on your favorite music and go, cruising down a road with the windows down, right? Like this next chapter, yeah, I don't even want to say this next chapter because I think that you're already in it. You're at the beginning of it, right?
Yeah.
This chapter is asking you to get in the fucking driver's seat and it's uncomfortable as hell. That's why you're resisting it
Yeah.
because it's new. And one thing I want you to really know and remember is that just because it's new doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's unfamiliar because every other part of your being knows,
Yes.
right? Like if we cast out for a moment, you're running 3 successful businesses, right? You've got that money flowing in. You're doing all kinds of cool shit with your kids, right? You're decorating your house the way that you want to,
Yes.
right? You're doing all those things. You're going to the art museums.
Yes.
You're taking your fun weekend trips by yourself and doing solo things and meeting new friends and having great lattes at funky little coffee shops.
Yes, ma'am. That's it right there. That's it.
That's your knowing. That is your knowing. And so the work, quote unquote, here is tapping into that on a regular basis and knowing that when you're resisting you, she already exists, right? She's not far off. You're not creating her. She is you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have these thoughts and feelings and visions. So when you start catching yourself resisting her, pulling back, shutting down, getting in that mind fuckery zone, I want you to talk to her. And it can be out loud. You can write to her, you can sing to her, whatever you want to do. But like tap into her energy. What would she do in this moment?
Incredible. Done deal. Thank you.
She will guide you.
Yeah. She already is. But yeah, that invisible shield is just, I'm just blocking her off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what if you just allow her to be a part of it instead of fighting her? Because she's got all the wisdom. she's a smart fucker. She's big and she's bold. And you know what? She doesn't give two shits if Chelsa is sitting on the couch in a t-shirt with a messy bun because she knows that that cash is flowing in and her family is happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most importantly, she's happy.
True story.
You can make whatever figures you want in sweatpants. Look, this is 2024 at time of recording. Shit has changed.
Exactly true. Yes.
If this were 1985, we'd probably be having a way different conversation. But thank God the women before us and the people before us have made a lot of big strides to give us the flexibility.
Unbelievably so. I can't even imagine.
So it's this release of the expectation of what she should look like and just allowing her to be.
It's everybody else's words, right? So that's what's doing it. It's everybody else's words. Past, conceived, shit. So, yeah.
You were not born beating yourself up. All of those negative voices in your head are not you. I'm a firm believer that we actually innately don't know how to beat up ourselves. I think that it's always an external voice that gets inside that sounds like our own.
Yeah. Maybe onto something there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never said that out loud before, but that might be a TikTok video.
Yeah. That's, oh my goodness, Laura. And you're absolutely incredible. The things that you do for people, the way that you connect, the level that you understand me, you are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. You are amazing. You are so ready for this. And you have been for quite some time, and you have been putting in the work. So, what do you think about first starting with sitting down and making that list and whatever that looks like? Like, actually give yourself the grace and the permission to own the fuck out of everything that you've done in the last 12 months.
Yeah. It's what I'm going to focus on for the rest of today until I get it finished, I think. That is the next step. Get it done. That is the important part.
How about a little accountability? You want to post some of it in the Gutsy Collective?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, I would love to. I kind of stepped into there too. So,
Yes. Well, that accountability system is underrated, might I say,
I think so.
because when you're surrounded with the right people making big shifts like this, and even little shifts, is way easier, right?
Yeah. Right. Well, and also like sense of community. So like I think a lot of us that are in these like I think a lot of us, right? We lack like deep connection or like people that share common ground like this with us. I don't have anybody, right? Like no one. I know nobody locally or even in the state that is like doing what I'm doing or trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And then when I tell people like what I do, boy howdy. You do what? Why? How? Right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of lonely.
I get it when I share that I'm a coach. They're like, "Oh, what sport?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I there is not an athletic bone in my body. I mean, I'm a good walker, but that's about where it goes." That's yeah, it's just being around the right people. It makes a huge difference, you know. It like you mentioned with your new friends, just having those people in your world that are lifting you up, having a good coach, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, having the community. I mean, all those pieces they make a big difference. And whether you have one or 100,
Yeah.
I mean, good people are good people.
True story. It's been amazing. So just the shift from last year to this year has been incredible. So
Yeah. So as we part ways here today, I just want to make sure that you have everything that you need. So first and foremost is making that list and feeling into that and posting it in the collective. You good with that?
yes.
Excellent. And then second, just coming back to you were sharing about like it's taking forever to make decisions and I should be further along and I'm not there yet and all that kind of mind fuckery. See why I call it that comes into play. What will you be doing in those moments when you catch those thoughts? Because these are the little pivot points.
I'm going to lean in and listen to her. She'll know what to do, and whatever decision she makes, that's what we move forward with. So,
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's the way to go.
This can happen in seconds. It can happen in minutes. You might need to sit with it for an afternoon. Like the time is irrelevant, but leaning in and letting her guide you. And then you move forward with that. You're going to feel a world of change overnight.
I totally agree. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for everything, Laura.
It's amazing to witness someone have their own aha moment, to have that realization and to put those pieces together. Chelsa made the gutsy move to raise her hand and say, yes, I'm willing to do this session and share it with all of you. And before we wrapped up, she had a few more words that she wanted to share with you.
It's an experience unlike anything else. And I don't know. I define myself as a weird piece of furniture, right? Everybody loves it. Oh, that's so cool. It doesn't fit in their life. I don't fit in most people's lives. You found a way. I fit here. I just thank you.
If today's session resonated with you, lit you up in a new way, or just has you feeling a little bit curious and intrigued, then I invite you to apply to get coached live on the Gutsy Podcast. All you got to do is go to thegutsypodcast.com, scroll to the bottom, click on the apply button, and submit your story. And if you want to guarantee your session and also maybe don't want to do it live on the show, you can book a single coaching session. Right now I'm gearing up for my 40th birthday, which is happening in December. And I'm celebrating that by offering 40-minute coaching sessions for $40. Go to lauraora.com/40 and book your session today. I love to connect with you outside of the podcast and on social. So come find me. I'm at that Laura Ora on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And as always, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.